So, Pete, in the past couple of years, a lot has happened. And in the past decade or so, social media has become ubiquitous. You get a viewpoint and a vantage point into artists' lives that maybe you didn't have, let's say, 20 or 30 years ago. Art and artist, the things that the musicians do off stage, off record, how much does that affect you, Pete, on how you view an artist? Do you separate the art from the artist?
That's a really, really good question, Willie. And I think it's a tough question to answer. And it varies on a case by case basis. For the most part, though, I think for me, I can separate the person from the art. I can appreciate the art, even if I don't necessarily agree with that person's viewpoints on certain things in life. I'm not one of those people that, because I disagree about a certain viewpoint, that I can't like somebody's music or films or whatever, any type of art, really. I think that separating it, for me, it's not difficult. However, there are a lot of people that do struggle with this, and
Sure.
will say, because so and so views this a certain way, or they support this person, that, oh, I'm done with them, I want nothing to do with them. For me, I don't have that issue so much, because at the end of the day, Willie, if you knew every single artist, musician, movie star, athlete, whatever, personally, there's a lot of them you probably might not necessarily want to root for. And so, with
Yeah.
blues rock as a genre, we get a chance to meet a lot of these artists and musicians, and I can honestly say there's very, very few that I've ever met that would make me say, man, this person's an awful person.
Right.
Within this genre, for the most part, I think most of the people that you come across are very down to earth, cool
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But when you look at it across the board, you could, musicians, athletes, whatever, we all have different opinions on things in life, and you know what? That's okay. We don't all have to agree on everything, but it's important, I think, to be civil. And so if someone has differing viewpoints from me, I'm not going to let that affect whether I like their music or not.
Yeah. And the reason, so the specific example in my mind that made me want to ask you this question is there was a whole big to do with Eric Clapton during the pandemic. And so that is the impetus behind the question in the first place. And yeah, there were some views and some strong views. It was something that evoked some very deep views in people. So I get that. I'm with you to the idea that I can separate. So my views don't have to be necessarily directly reflected back at me when I listen to someone. However, the one place where I do have a little bit of art and artist and what people are doing in their personal life is I have always struggled with the artist who will come on and talk about on stage and sing about the plight of the poor, a cause that's so important, a way that people should be, and then write it into the lyrics of their songs. And then 18 hours later, they are doing the exact opposite. That I like. Does this make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah.
See, so
Well,
like,
so if someone is like preaching a message, Willie, at
there
a
we go.
concert.
You just hit the word right. If someone is practice what you preach, if you are going to be one of those artists who's going to do, and I'm not, this word usually takes on bad connotation, but if you are going to do a little bit of light preaching, then I would hope that I see that reflected in your life. Maybe not day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute, but overall, that should be part of your ethos. If you go and build a career on talking about this, and then I see you over there doing something different, that is the one place where I really can't separate artists from artists. But otherwise, like you said, Pete, to each their own. We're all human. We don't need to know everything about everyone else, right?
Yeah, like you said, Willie, we are all human and everyone makes mistakes, and no one is perfect. But I can see the point too about if you go to a concert, why do you go to a concert, Willie? You want to be entertained, right?
Yes, sir.
You want to have a good night. You don't want to be necessarily
browbeaten.
preach to about politics or things like that. Now, politics has had its place in music and over the years. However, I think for a lot of people, you know, they think of going to a concert, or it could be a sporting event or whatever, as an escape from everyday life. They just want to forget, and they just want to enjoy, and they don't want everything to be so political or opinionated. They just want to enjoy a good night of music. And so I can certainly see that side as well.
Yep.
Well, what do you guys think? Can you differentiate the artist from offstage antics or offstage personalities? Is it difficult for you to like an artist if you know they have various viewpoints that are different from yours? Let us know down in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. This is a great topic.